Hello, my little stars. How are you shining today? Welcome to the first ever Retell Review, where we retell and review movies, music, tracks, and all things like that. Today, we will be reviewing Hayley Williams' new LP, Flowers for Vases. So go ahead, get ready, get your earphones in, and let's get listening.
Was the sound of his voice.
Hayley Williams' new LP is a vulnerable piece of work. It's a raw take on heartbreak and trauma, letting the listener in on the bitter story that is Flowers for Vases. A moody acoustic sound sets the tone for our story, beginning our journey with the first thing to go. A soft open to a vulnerable album, a track of heartbreak and remembrance, with a deep heartbeat-like bass and soft vocals. The track is a taste of what's to follow, which can best be described as the acoustic diary of a vulnerable woman. With the prologue set, our story begins, in a spaceful yet haunting my limb. It plays into the angst of heartbreak. Like teens in a haunted house, the song is graffitied in metaphors. In moments, all this graffiti is nice, and sometimes it feels too much. The song feels less open lyric-wise. Unlike First Thing to Go, that felt natural and honest, the song feels like a dramatization, like ghost hunters on a reality show. They've entered the house and scream at their shadows. And although the music gives you creepy vibes, it's also a bit showy in comparison to the first track. It's definitely more commercial. Through the haunted limbs and into the heart rate monitor, arriving at a Sicily, a Spanish word that means heart failure. Adding another entry of heartbreak, a Sicily builds as it plays only to end with lackluster. Or so you would think. Like a heart failing to beat only to start up once again in a second chance of life. Silence turns into a piano that honestly reminds me a bit of Twilight. There are moments on this track where I'm sent back to the early Paramore days. Those moments paired with a salsa-like guitar and building instruments make for a track that captures and holds my attention.
The trigger, but you hold the gun. How come you never put the safety on?
With our attention caught, Williams brings it to trigger, giving us a country vibe with rolling guitar and shaking acoustic percussion. Somber yet hopeful, Williams takes us through the rough terrain of love, the danger and recklessness of a relationship, the uneasy strings that pierce high in the back of the second chorus, mimicking the anxiety of love.
Look out together on those hills forever.
Grabbing onto the hopefulness and trigger, we glide over these hills. A song for a dreamy sunny day. A glimmer of light in a dark pool that is Flowers for Vases. The electric guitar solo is a nice break from the acoustic repetitiveness. A breath of fresh air after the last 4 heavy tracks, though it doesn't feel out of place.
There's no such thing as good grief. Haven't eaten in 3 weeks.
Much like life, our sunny escape was short-lived. When night comes, we are forced back into sounds of haunting space with good grief. Uneasy piano and ghostly ad-lib vocals make the song feel like a memory tainted by reality. Ending with home movie sounds and then into a high-pitched ring, we are transitioned into Wait On.
Wake up every morning, I sometimes feel the need to pour out.
Taking the tone up a notch by adding a picking guitar to the space left by Good Grief, a lingering, haunted feeling stays, but not as heavy thanks to Williams' soft vocals and the upscaling bass line. A cheery piano also plays a few chords, and that helps lighten the mood. The song ends all too soon with a bittersweet feeling left in me.
You're right here, where the line is.
Leaning more into the bitter and haunting elements of the album, Kyra is what I would call the funeral or death song of the album. It's sad and morbid. The piano anxiously plays the same chords over and over till forced to move up. The whole song feels like mourning a loss.
Ordinary, ordinary, ordinary. I wasn't ordinary.
In those moments before death, in a flash of light, comes an ordinary. A tour of different heartbreaks and healing, Williams speaks on running away and freedom, with distortion to end an odd song we are left feeling inordinary.
One afternoon, that dark little place you have made, you'd swear all these.
In the last moments, Hayley remembers a past love, thinking on how they might view her now, with a light-hearted beginning into the soft but serious song Hide. Acoustic guitar and piano adding to these memories, all in a singer-songwriter fashion.
It's no use, I just love you. It's no use, I just love you. It's no use.
With her last breath of life as she knows it, a light piano introduces us to a song of acceptance. Slow and repetitive, the song feels like a perfect transition from life to death, allowing this love to die and our soul to find peace.
One can hold your hand now through the delicate.
The afterlife of love, that's just what William finds with Find Me Here. Williams is saying she's home and comfortable. She's paid her dues and is content. She wishes her love well, leaving an open hand to come join her when they wish. With eyes glazing over and body turning cold, Hayley's physical love decays, while her soul and spirit smile at old memories. Descendios is haunting, sweet, tragic, and beautiful. An instrumental with a ghostly angel choir. A song that feels like the end, but for this soul, she has one chorus left to sing.
Waking hours before I open my eyes. In the morning I feel my heart cry.
With Just a Lover, Hayley reminds us that it's not quite over. This is one death in a series of love lives. An anthem to end the album. With our first real taste of electric guitar and some real drums, we are reminded this is far from the end. This is only a transition. For this was only, and I quote, a prequel, a detour between Petals 1 and 2. Unquote. Flowers for Vases is an album for the vulnerable. It's an album that you might connect with if you're grieving or just need a good cry. For me, the album was an experimental pleasure. This is the most vulnerable and experimental that I've seen Williams. I'm impressed by how much this album she did on her own. It's inspired me and made me believe in myself more. I myself am making an EP mostly on my own, with the help of my boyfriend. I find myself constantly wondering if I'm capable of doing it. If my EP will turn out the way I hope, if it's just me and him working on it. Seeing her accomplish a full LP with just herself and one other gives me content that I can do the same. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this album an 8. Though it's not my favorite work of Williams, it's still strong. It holds a lot of gems, and I'm personally glad she made it.
Thank you so much for watching my first ever Retell review. If you like it, be sure to subscribe and also like. Share with your friends as well, more the merrier. If you're an independent artist or a movie maker and you want me to review your movie, your music, or your track, or all of that, be sure to follow the link in the description that will lead you to all the information you may need. Anyway, thank you so much for watching again, and keep on shining.